So, for this stream, I'm planning to do a little bit of stones on this character, like in the concept. Those stones on the neck, those stones on the arms. And the shoulders, I mean, this is detailing. This is not the best thing to watch probably on YouTube. But we have to do it anyway. It's gone a little bit of a way. I've done some things until the beginning of this character. And yeah, if you follow the streams, you will know that I have done some things, yeah. I have done a little bit more work on the legs. The skirt is a little bit different because, not different, but I managed to get a feedback. So now we have how the back of the skirt is looking, and the skirt is more logical right now, which is great. It's of course work in progress completely, but this front thing here on the back obviously have to be something like this. So we have to do this. But in the beginning, of course, let's start with the rocks. How to do rocks in Blender. This will be a very, very pleasant and not pleasant, very useful tutorial about how to do stones. So first, what I like to do is, since the most of the stones that I see here are on his left arm, so I will start on his left arm and I will mirror everything on the right. So first we start with one sphere, we put it here on the shoulder, we make it smaller. Then we go to the scope mode, and probably I want to remesh it, so I will remesh it a little bit lower resolution, smooth it, and then with the scrape peaks brush, I will start pushing this sphere like this. And it will start to look a little bit like a stone, like a little bit of a polished gemstone, which is the case here. So I will try to follow the concept as much as possible, but not completely, probably. Of course, this is preliminary, so it's always about the feedback. So in the beginning, I will start with this little tiny stone right here, and after I'm done with this, I will get feedback. When I get the feedback, I will change some things probably according to the feedback, and most likely I will. And after that, I will dig the skin, so there will be kind of a place for the stone to sit, because now they are sitting on top of the skin and there is nothing on the skin itself, nothing on the border to show that this is something from this character, which is not good. But for a preliminary, for first kind of a test stones, I think it will be enough. So the stone itself, I will take it, duplicate it, rotate it, because the easiest way to make another stone will be to just duplicate our existing ones. So this will be the bigger stone in here, a little bit bigger. All right. Now, how I like to do stones. I use clay strips brush, for example, to give a little bit of a, texture, we may say. Then I always, especially for these polished stones, but not only, for rocks or for whatever, I always use the most scrape peaks brush or high polish brush in ZBrush, if you are into this kind of thing. Of course, ZBrush, yeah, there was a comment for my video on the other channel, which is why I left ZBrush for Blender. A guy said that the difference between Blender and ZBrush is like day and night in sculpting, which is opinions, this is his opinion because he's defending ZBrush. I don't know why he's defending ZBrush, and I'm not attacking ZBrush, so he will defend it. I said that ZBrush is the best sculpting software, but he decided to probably just enter into the fight, which there is no fight. But yeah, it's fine. And he said that there is a day and night difference between ZBrush and Blender, which is not exactly true. It's not true at all. The difference is kind of slight, especially on the characters that I do. Day and night is not exactly what I would call it. Even much less than day and night. Yeah, there is a difference, but for example, maybe the difference is even less than the difference between Photoshop and something like Krita or some other software which is free. free version of Photoshop, or free not addition, but free something, yeah, free replacement, if you will, of Photoshop. So it's I'm not super familiar, by the way, with the free replacements of Photoshop. I know there's a few of them, but I haven't tried them because I'm using just some old version of Photoshop and it's doing good for me. Also, Photoshop was never bought by Maxon, and I don't think they bumped their prices or changed their politics about the prices yet. I'm not sure, but that could be one of the reasons that I was a little bit mad about ZBrush, but it's not the main reason. The main reason is, as everybody said, is the money, because I'm making more money from Blender courses than ZBrush courses, and that's a good reason, by the way, coming from a guy who is making courses to make a living, so I can put some bread on my table, and sometimes on good months I can even put salami or some kind of meat, a little bit, once a month, or once a week, even on very good ones, some salami. It's very nice. Yeah, that's why I have to be commercially viable, and Blender, of course, is the way to do it. And as you can see, if I can do all those things with Blender and working freelance, and even when I was working in Gameloft, I was doing Blender also the last year, and if I can do it, probably everybody can do it. Of course, you have to bear in mind I have a lot of experience with sculpting, but that's doable. Everybody can do it. Everybody can have a lot of experience with sculpting if they start sculpting and sculpt a lot. Yeah, right, I know, it sounds a little bit, but it's true. It's definitely true. So now for this, we don't have the back of the character that much. We have a little bit of the back made for me to see this thing and the skirt on the back, but it was just overpaint over this particular model, which I sent them the back like this, and they overpainted it so I can see how the skirt is going. So this is a standard process. This is completely standard. This is very cool. You don't need a model or the concept from all sides in order to start to do it. You can start it from just the front, as we have it here, mostly front, and then from feedbacks back and forth a little bit, and you can go to the final image. Of course, if you have a concept from the front, side and back, completely detailed, with all the things thought of, I think it's the best, but I mean, less than 50% probably are people who are doing this. So I don't think it's a big issue. I say the only issue is if they pay enough money. No, the other issue is that people should respect you as a 3D artist. If they respect you and they treat you with respect, and you treat them with respect, everything will be fine. You will get to the bottom of it. You will get to the end of the character at some point. It will not, go away from you. So I'm Shift D'ing, which is duplicate, obviously, and just putting them here and there. I may do a little bit of a mirror, but my problem with the mirror is that it could slow down the machine a little bit. Especially, I will just disable the visibility of the mirror. It will slow down the machine because I'm, streaming. And by the way, this the lack of background that I have is taking a little bit of the video card resources, because I'm using NVIDIA Broadcast software, which is a little piece of free software, but it's doing wonders for this thing. It removes the background, it can blur the background, it can do a lot of stuff, but it takes resources of your video card. So my video card now, it's not exactly what it is, and it is 2080 Super, which is kind of an old, nice video card, but it's old. And yeah, probably you all know already, but it was a gift from a fellow artist from South Africa, from the South Africa country. And he just contacted me in Instagram and said, I like your work, I like your tutorials, I like to give you a video card. And I say, okay, this probably is a scam. But I saw the guy and he had around 8,000 followers in Instagram and he was doing pretty nice things. This kind of paintings, very nice paintings. He's not a digital artist, he's a complete and very good normal artist. So yeah, not artist from AliExpress. He's a good artist and he's doing this kind of very interesting paintings with very big dots, so colorful dots but very big, and the painting is huge. It's like 2 meters by 2 meters or something like this, and from up close you cannot see what's happening. It's just big dots with colors in them. But if you go back, and then you see a face, for example, or something else, it's very, very cool. So yeah, I will answer some questions, we will do some Artstation feedback, but I'm just concentrated a little bit now. Probably you don't know that I'm concentrated because I'm constantly talking, but obviously I have this gift that I can be concentrated enough and talk at the same time, especially when I'm doing something which I have done thousands of times, which is working in a 3D program. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, as you can see. I'm working in a 3D program, which is Blender. Many of you probably don't know, but this is Blender, and Blender is good software for 3D. Of course, until AI steal our jobs, of course, that's everybody knows that. But until then, it will be nice. And action. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. Maybe I could read some comments and you will give me some things to talk about. Yeah, in this series of lives where I do Artstation feedback and working on this character, which is a freelance, I will, don't worry, I will also make a little bit of a lives on making the low poly of this character, which probably nobody will watch, but I don't care, you know, it's not my primary field of business, these lives. These lives are just for fun. I don't make money from YouTube, which is good. I make money from my courses, so buy my courses. Yeah, YouTube is the tool to promote my courses. That's inevitable. I mean, you have to do something like this, because even if you have made the best course ever in the world, if you don't have the tools to promote it and to marketing it, nobody will know about your course and nobody will buy it. So it will sit there making 0 sales or just a few sales, and it will be very sad. So it's a good thing to have something like a tool to use. Let me make this yellow, those tones, because, you know, the color matters. Maybe you think, no, the color doesn't matter, Nico is lying, but the color matters. For example, this alien was not looking like an alien particularly until I painted it blue, and now he's looking more like an alien. And the face, they like it now. They wanted it something like the guy from 300, the evil guy with a lot of earrings and stuff, but without the earrings that much. So a little bit anamorph looking face, and I think we got it, kind of. I don't know if they completely like it, but they said it's going there, which is, I think, a good sign. Let's find a little bit of a yellow color here and just color those and continue working. Now it's looking more like it. Let's turn on symmetry. Yeah, I think it's starting to look like the concept. We need a couple of those stones on the neck, of course. But you see, putting stones on the skin of the alien as the concept is not a super difficult task, and it doesn't take too much time. But then, of course, refining. Then you have, of course, when you do the low poly, you have to go over all those tones, because this character will be for something like a cinematic most likely, and it will be over 1000 polygons. So over 1000 probably triangles, let's say. And for these triangles you have to kind of cover each stone. It has to be covered with polygons, which will be a little bit of a meticulous task, and it will take a long time because I will do it manually. Usually we do it manually. I don't think there is too much other ways to do it. There is one way, by the way, which I could try, but I'm I think I tried it back in the days and it wasn't working that much. The way is the following. So you take the stones and overall the high poly and combine it. So you combine the stones with the body and make it one mesh. You decimate it or remesh it in this case, and then it's completely one mesh. And then you use some, something like quad remesher, and it will make something. But for this very complex geometry, so skin with stones on top and everything, I'm not sure it will do the job, and I'm pretty sure that it will not. Especially if the polygons are a certain amount. If we have unlimited amount of polygons, then could work, because we can, but then my computer will crash probably, so it's, yeah, there is no way. You have to do it manually, and manually it will be the best possible, and manually also it will be slower, yes, but of course you will have much more control over everything. And even if you do it with some kind of machine way, some AI, you have to go over it manually afterwards, so you will lose some time, and at the end maybe it will be better just to start it manually and do it manually to begin with. Yeah, of course. So when I finish the neck, I will go through to the chat a little bit, because I know, guys, you like me to go through the chat and do some fun question answering. Maybe we will do it just a blitz question answering without too much explanation, except if I encounter some amazing question that we have never encountered before, like what is the number of your shoes, or the shoe size of yours, and stuff like this. Then we may spend a little bit more time explaining these very important topics, because they're important. But if you like my sense of humor, if you like the lack of sense of humor, you can go and purchase one of my courses. Links in the description of the video, of course. As always, in all the videos, the descriptions are kind of the same. By the way, I think I forgot to delete the art by section here, which is, we don't have art by anybody, or even if this concept is drawn by somebody, which it is, I cannot say from who it is and for what company it is. This is I cannot reveal that, but I'm sure that you all don't care about this. You only care about seeing something that's valuable for your journey as a character artist, or journey in the industry as a whole. Probably I can give this to you. Probably we can take it. I will rotate this and put it right here, right now, right here, right now. Yeah, for these stones, I'm sure we will go back and forth, because they will want probably more stones from the back to be visible. So to have more in here and the back, probably I can make them by myself and then show it to them for them to just approve or not approve. But if I don't want to lose time, I will just ask them to draw me a map of those stones from the back, and they will do it. And those guys, by the way, are, for a change, fast, and that's what I like. I don't like to do a project for like months and something, because the feedback is very slow. I like everything to be fast and furious. That's why I like to work with those guys, because when I have something to feedback, they answer in about a couple of hours, which is great. I've seen things, I know. I will save, by the way. And there are companies that answer in like 2 days or 3 days. It's hell. And then you cannot continue. You basically are stuck, because you need the feedback. You need to have, for example, the back drawn to you. If you continue and you do something that they don't like afterwards, then it will be a lost time for you, And of course, if you charge by an hour, you probably can charge them for this and for that, but I prefer not to. I mean, yeah, I value my time. I prefer to spend time with my family or to do some YouTube video or play some game even, which I'm doing. I'm playing Starfield right now a little bit, although I'm starting to get a little bit, you know, sick of this. Starfield is starting to get repetitious or repeat whatever. Starting to repeat a little bit the quests and stuff. I went through some of the main quests. Let me see how much time I have spent in the game. I think around 60 hours, not more than 70 hours, I think. Okay, let's go to a little bit of a questions. Privet. People from all over the world. I saw a short in Blender. They take some kind of screen from Google Map and build the so-called image of the city with geometry node. All the time I was sculpting a rock, I was like, what? Can you tell me how to connect that stone to the character like it came out of the body? Yeah, I think we will get to that, but probably not today. Why? Because if I start working on the skin and they want some changes on the stones, then it will be a problem. But it's very easy and it's very much fun to do. Just to go around the skins, around the stones, on the skin, and just lift it up a little bit with some brush and do some things. And yeah, it's not that hard. It's easy. Love from Pakistan. Okay, I posted my Artstation link, but because I changed my Artstation name, it didn't work when you clicked it. That's probably the case, yeah. Hello, Nico. Hey. I can get by GIMP and Krita, but my 2D needs are very basic. Exactly, my 2D needs also are pretty basic, so probably I can get by with Krita and GIMPta, or GIMP and Krita, whatever. Creed was the guy from The Office, I think, yeah. But yeah, so, since I have this Photoshop, which is, I told you, old version, I don't know which version was, not super old, by the way. Let me see. Oh, 2020, it's not super old. It's not ultra old, but it's kind of not the newest thing in the box. Yeah, you need protein to keep those big muscles, man. Yeah, the protein. By the way, what I did yesterday, I was working on this character, and because, you know, I worked a little bit on it outside the camera, so it's not only on the streams. So I made it blue, I made some changes on the face, refined some things, but in Blender, and then I started working, let me show you, just like retopologizing. I put one polygon in here and started extruding it, so it took me like maybe 1.5 hours or 2 hours to do the whole design, but I think this is the best way to do it, because then you have the best control over your polygons, how much polygons there will be. You can do it with curves, of course, but then when you make it an object, it will have some issues. So in this way, I managed to do it. So now it's not perfect. I haven't fitted it perfectly yet, but it's just something like to be there, to have it in mind. It will be golden, it will be a little bit more inside this color. And this color, by the way, I have to separate it. It has to be modeled, not modeled, but in the low poly it has to be separate, because otherwise, yeah, they have to be able to remove it or to put it back to, you know, that's the thing. Yeah, with the stones it's starting to look a little bit better, because without the stones it was kind of a normal human body with a little bit bigger nails and a little bit stranger face, but overall normal guy with the pointy ears. Now with those stones it will start to look more unique, and that's what I like it. Let's see if we have stones on the legs. We don't have, so it's very good because we have stones only on the arms and on the neck. Maybe here on the back we would have some stones, I'm not sure, and on the back of the neck we don't know. We will see that when I give this thing for feedback. But let's continue with the questions. Let me tell you just a little bit. So I was working on this character and I decided to put a video on in YouTube on my other monitor, which will make me doubt my life choices. What I mean by that, my life choices is to eat a lot of sugar after each eating. So I eat twice a day, once around noon and once in the evening around 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So in all those eatings, I'm eating some bread with some mayonnaise, with some kind of a cheese or mozzarella, for example. I'm eating a lot of mozzarella lately since my trip to Italy, by the way, because I realized that mozzarella is, I like it, and I can kind of, I can take it. It's not a problem for me. Although I have problems with milk, with raw milk, I have a lot of issues. But mozzarella, no problem at all. So I put a video which is like 52 minutes, and some guy is explaining. He's giving an interview. He's explaining about the sugar. And when you watch this video, you will kind of start thinking about quitting sugar, because he's talking about a lot of problems with sugar. And sugar, basically what he says, is not a food. It's not a food. It's calories. Yes, they're not exactly empty calories, but they don't give you anything but energy. And if you don't spend this energy, usually it will be problem for you. Because if you eat a lot of sugar, excess amounts of sugar, which they say is like more than 10 to 20 grams a day is excess amounts. And many people, like more than 30% of people in the developed countries like Europe and USA, they are eating more than 60 to 100 grams of sugar every day. And that's a problem, because excess amounts of this thing, sugar, which is addictive chemical, is toxic for you and for your liver, and the liver has big issues with this. And if you continuously do that, you will make sure your liver starts to have issues. And when your liver starts to have issues, all the organs will start to have issues, because the liver is one of your biggest organs, and it's cleaning the blood. And if the blood cannot be cleaned nicely because your liver is suffering from something, then your other organs will start to fail and start to suffer. That's why sugar is one of the biggest poisons. And it's very addictive, by the way, which is the biggest issue, because you can overdose with water, you can overdose with air, you can overdose with everything, but you will not, because water is not addictive. Water is just something you have to consume. It's normal, you just drink it, you forget it. But sugar, it's super addictive, and you can easily overdose with sugar. And I'm doing it almost every day. And by the way, I'm feeling bad with this. When I overdose with sugar, when I'm eating, while I'm eating, I'm super fine. I'm feeling amazing. And then when I stop eating it, a little bit after that, when your insulin levels are rising and your sugar levels are starting to drop because your insulin is rising a lot, then I'm starting to feel like shit. And that's not the best in the world. Why am I doing this to myself? I'm asking. Why? I shouldn't. So the substitute for sugar are fruits, because fruits, they also have this poison, which is the sugar, fructose and glucose. But they also have the remedy. So I got the poison, I got the remedy, And this is the fruit. The fruit is singing this song. The prodigy is singing the song, but fruit also is singing the song. So when you eat fruit, you eat the sugars, but then you eat also the fibers. And the fibers are those things that are kind of helping everything inside you to cope with the sugar. And the sugar, when you eat a fruit, you don't eat sugar in super excess amounts, because usually you cannot eat more than like 5 apples in one sitting, which is, but you can drink them. So if you drink apple juice, for example, you can drink 5 apples in no time, like this, which is a bad thing, because then you will overdose with apple. So how to overdose with fruits? Just drink them in juices. So the guy said that juices are not good, and I know that, but whatever. Let's see other questions. I know that it's a lot of different information, but it's life lessons, and I'm using these lives, because those are lives. I'm using them to give you some examples of life lessons which I think are useful for everybody. Because obviously I'm an artist, I'm spending a lot of time in front of my computer, and since I'm doing that, I tend to eat a lot of sugar and drink probably. Some of you probably are drinking a lot of sugar, which is even worse. Which I mean the soda drinks like Coca-Cola, like Mirinda, Fanta, whatever. Everything with a lot of sugar in it, it's bad for you. When you drink it, of course, because drinking it will let it into your system much faster than eating it. And when it goes into your system that fast, then your system will overload much faster. That's why Mexico has big issues with overweight. I think the statistics were in Mexico, more than 70% of people are overweight and more than 30% are obese or something like this. So it's huge problem in Mexico because since like I don't know which year particular, but when they started to get a lot of the Western products, the Western garbage products like chips and of course Coke, Coca-Cola, I mean, and all those drinks, sugary drinks, they are drinking them like crazy. They're giving them to their kids. I saw a video where there is this little kid. He cannot walk. He's like maybe 9 months old or like 10 months old, and his mother with this big bottle of Coke, she's giving him a sip of Coke. I mean, this was a little bit of a strange for me. We don't do that here in our country. At least we don't give this to babies, But for some kids, some parents are pretty irresponsible, in my opinion, and they're giving a lot of sugary drinks to their kids, and their kids are pretty obese. And this is kind of going like, hey, those. I don't know if you see it, but this is. I'm not sure how it was in English. Yeah, because there is no English writing here. Peanuts or whatever. And they're very nice, and they're not that bad for you as the sugar. Although they can be a little bit bad if you eat a lot of them again, but whatever. Because they're baked, and when you bake some of those fats, which are not, they are not. What was the name? They're not animal fats, so they can be transformed to something bad. But whatever. This weekend I talked to a pro miniature sculptor at a convention, and he was using 100% Blender. First one I find in that scene. There will be more, I think, because of my courses. Hi Nico, I learned a lot from the head anatomy course. Thanks to you, sculpting is now much more enjoyable. Are you thinking of doing a body anatomy course like head anatomy? I'm thinking about arm anatomy course at the beginning, because arm and hand, I will include folded arm, I will include fist and hand like this, and other exercises probably, but I'm just considering it. I haven't started it yet. Do you think about the course with workflow from Sculpt to import in Unreal with Retopo, UV Bake texturing in Substance? I have done that without the import in Unreal, but of course if you export your textures from Substance Painter with the Unreal preset, you probably will be okay. Stripes, daring today, aren't we? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yo no soy marinero. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Nico, how do you know how good enough you're good enough to work in the game industry? You never know, but if you kind of compare yourself with the people from trending in Artstation, this is a good comparison, and if you are close to their level, you probably are good enough for some companies. If you are not as good, you probably want to try yourself in some smaller companies, some indie companies, if you can find them, which is the difficult part, of course, because there will always be work for intermediate up to advanced artists, but they have to just find it, which is the difficult part, because those little companies, they usually don't post the job offerings that much, and you cannot find it, which is the difficult part, is to connect both the employer and employee. That's the problem. Hey Nico, I'm 15 and I would be happy if you check my Artstation and say if I have some chances to become a nice 3D character artist in the future. There are not many anatomical things I'm studying. So, you're 15 years old. There is a chance for you to become everything you want. Absolutely everything. There is no, 3D character art is not a problem at all. If you spend enough time and effort and practice, even if now you have the shittiest Artstation profile, in 5 years, like when you are 20, when you are in the age of trying to find a job, you will be, if you work hard enough, you will be just amazing character artist, for example, if you want to be a character artist. That's why I don't think I need to check out your portfolio, because I told you it's about work, hard work, and determination. There is nothing like talent or something. This doesn't exist. Talent doesn't exist in my opinion. Talent is just your ability, your brain's ability to learn a little bit faster something. So I have a talent for art, yes. My brain is a little bit on artistic side, yes. But I've seen people whose brain was not exactly like that. They were drawing like shit, very, very badly. When I was 7th grade, I think it was, yeah. And there was this guy who came in our class, and he was drawing very bad. And we were in this drawing class. 7th and 8th grade, I was in a drawing class where we were learning a lot of drawing. 7 and 8, only 7 and 8. Then I went to a banking high school, but whatever. So this guy was drawing bad. He was 7th grade and he was drawing like 5 years old, very bad. But so he didn't have any talent, yes. And back then I didn't think that something will happen from him. He will not be anything because he cannot draw, you know. Basically, he can't draw. And I thought it's impossible for him to learn from that point. But then I went to this banking school. He stayed in this drawing school, this drawing class, and he finished it. And in 12th grade, he was drawing better than me. Because I was drawing, yes. I was drawing every day. But in the class, I was drawing between lectures. I was drawing just things without watching something. So I was drawing aimlessly a little bit. I was practicing without a purpose. I was not watching something to draw off out of, which is how you fill your visual library. No, I was not doing that thing, and that's why I didn't progress as much. So I stayed basically in the same level, progressed a little bit. He progressed like crazy. He went to courses, additional courses. He went, of course, he stayed into this drawing class, and he was better than me at the point. And that's why I realized, that's how I realized that hard work is much more important than this so-called talent, which I told you, for me, it doesn't exist. So yeah, just hard work. But that was a very good, let's say, question. Are you doing this for a game? No, this particular, I think it's for a cinematic. I'm not sure. Hey Nico, hi. Stream games, yeah. I have no problem with AI taking over the UV side of things. Yeah, I don't have a problem with AI taking the retopology and UV, but we'll see. Don't worry, we have got AI, has no power to take our hard work. Allah will help us. You know, I usually tend to not rely on gods to do whatever. I usually want to do everything for myself, and if there is a god, he will either help or not. But probably in the Bible, in the Quran, and in every book, God is relatively good, right? He's doing good things, not bad things. Bad things only for the bad people. So I think he probably will help me, but I have to push myself, give at least 100% of me, even more, but probably you cannot give more. But if you can, give them. For example, Stephen King, when he was writing some of his books, he was giving more than 100% of him. Why? Because he was taking some pills. And with these pills, he was able to see things and imagine things that usually people cannot. And yeah, this is to give, of course, I'm not saying take pills to do more than 100% of you, but I'm giving you an example that probably, theoretically, you can give more than 100% of yourself. But yeah. He also looked like Dr. Manhattan, a bigger nephew. Bigger? Blingier nephew. Okay, yeah. Bigger, because it's not bigger. Xerex, yeah. Xerex was this guy from 300. Hello, Nico, I'm 15. I will. Okay, we already see that. The link is in the Discord. Okay. Do you have any 3D printed? Okay, this guy is 15, but he is. Why does he think that if he posts it like a couple of times, it will be whatever? The link is in the Discord and show off. Okay. Do you have any 3D printed models to show us? I have a lot of them, but I already showed them all, so yeah. Hey Nico, I finally called you live for the first time. Romania here. Oh, Romania is here, so Romania is our time zone, so you can catch me live anytime. Nico, does Quadrimesh have something similar to Polygroup to help it with geometry? Quadrimesher, no. But the Blender itself has Face ID, which is something similar to Polygroup. Hello Nico, I am 15. Okay, again, this, yeah, of course. Oops. Let's see. Nice humor. Here, $300. Okay. Yes, we'd rather chat. How much would you charge for something like this? For something like this model? I would not say, but yeah, a lot of money. Don't worry about it. Hey, I've been working on a Blender add-on for a month now that aims to improve the Blender sculpting workflow. I need people to help test it. Can I send you a video later, show it, and chat? Of course. If it's for sculpting, I'm your guy. You can send me either in the Discord or in my mail. You can find it somewhere. But in the Discord, if you personal message me or PM me, it will be nice. Have you tried Baldur's Gate 3? No, I haven't, but I read a lot about this game and I probably should try it at some point. The thing is that I don't have time for a lot of games, so I chose Starfield because I love Skyrim, Fallout series, all the Fallout series, by the way, not only the Fallout 3 and beyond. I like Fallout 1 and 2 also a lot. And I even replayed Fallout 1 and 2, which are the top-down RPGs. I replayed them a couple of months ago, maybe 1 year ago. I played them again. It was super much fun. I love them. But I also like the Bethesda ones, which are Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. I like them a lot. And Skyrim, of course. And that's why I like to try this new game from Bethesda, which is Starfield. That's why I'm playing it, and I enjoy it so far. But yeah, with this freelances and stuff, I don't have too much time to play it, and I cannot concentrate quite much inside the game, to go inside the game, as you can say. That's why, yeah, I play it a little bit less these days. Greeting, great one from Nigeria. It's getting nicer. Yeah, Nigeria, very nice. Hi Nico, hi chat, thanks for your courses and your live streams. Your education material is invaluable. It's valuable, by the way. It's valued $20 a piece in Artstation and around $13 in Udemy. So it's valuable. I'm joking, of course. Thank you. Hey Nico, do you think it will be safe if we jump into animation industry as a character models these days? This AI stuff is concerning, you know. It's always concerning, but you know, if you can learn this skill, this craft, character modeling, at some point, even if the AI is starting to take over, there will be a need of character artists to work with this as a tool. For example, now the AI, the Midjourney, for example, is making amazing illustrations, but if you are a good character artist, I mean 2D artist, you're a good painter or drawer, digital one, you can easily overpaint everything and make it custom to the client particularly, because with the prompts you can go only so far, and then with your skills in Photoshop you can do very fast changes and everything will be completely as the guy wants it. So in my opinion, there will be need for good character artists in the future, even if the AI kind of takes over, because nowadays I see a lot of people, a lot of companies looking for 2D artists. They are looking for 2D artists right now, which in the beginning of the year, everybody thought that in a couple of months, 2D artists will be distinct. I mean, they will be extinct. They will be in the red book. But no, now people are looking actively for 2D artists, and it's a good thing. And if you work with, as a 2D artist, if you work with the AI, you can do your job far quicker and with much more quality, and that's a good thing. So I'm not super concerned about the AI, by the way, especially in the 3D AI, because you know, much more people can work with 2D, Photoshop and stuff like this to kind of change their AI works, than with 3D. With 3D programs, there are much less people who can actually open a 3D program and do something. Those people are very, very low amount, and that's why there will be need for these people to work with the AI, I think, and especially in the beginning, especially in the first years, which means we have some time. We have like 5 to something years, in my opinion, but that can change. Nobody knows. Nico, can you show us the red jacket helmet guy? Oh, you're the... yeah. Okay, let me check it out if I can show it. Helm guy. Here is the helm guy. Let's open Substance Painter, by the way, because in Substance Painter it looks the best. Hopefully this is the file, because it could be the other one. Let's see. But I already exported textures and I put it in Blender. But in Blender it doesn't look quite well because I didn't put environment texture. And when you have metal parts, they always need environment texture, good environment texture to work with. So yeah, this is the guy. Of course the eye is, since I baked this, it's in a separate thing, but it doesn't matter. So this is it. We can see the polygons like this. This is a low poly, obviously. And it's looking pretty good. The helm guy. Yeah. We have the light we can move even like this. Yeah. So I will close it. So because Substance Painter tend to take a little bit of resources when you work. The red jacket guy. Where you got clients when you start freelance? I do 3 characters for 3D prints. I got clients from... let's see. We can time out a little bit. Yeah. The stream is lagging. Yeah, sometimes it's lagging because of a lot of things. But why could it lag if I'm just sitting and talking? I don't know. Whatever. Why I got clients? So in the beginning, when I was starting 3D freelancing, I was working in already in Gameloft. So from some colleagues, I got some freelancers from them, because they thought that the freelance that they got, I better do it because I'm better in some things. So this was one of the first. But in the other way, nowadays I got freelancers from my Discord channel. I got freelancers from Artstation. From Artstation are the most freelancers, by the way. And some people are writing me in the mail, directly into the mail. But in Artstation there are a lot of freelance. So in my opinion, for an artist who is not that famous, developing your Artstation to have a lot of followers or more followers, it will increase the probability of you being contacted by someone, you know. Stream turned off or disconnected. Nice expression. Huh. Ah, it's back. Okay, good. Hi Nikolai, if someone learn and can sculpt a character in intermediate level, can he get freelancer job without working in 3D company in the past? Probably. I told you, it's even if you are in intermediate level up to advanced, you are not as good, but there are people who are doing like indie games. They don't want that big of a quality. They want a good price and they want a character. So you probably, if you can find this kind of job, which will be great for you, but that's the difficult part, to find it. I'm sure there is, but you have to find it. That's the problem. It's extremely annoying. Yeah. Hope to see how you make those ornaments fit perfectly. Nico, that's something I struggle with at the moment. Just manually I will do it, most likely. Striped shirt. Hi, Nico is kidnapped, I guess. Yeah, he is. Nico, привет. Привет! We should save him. Save Nico. Hi, Nico. Love your videos. Thank you. Ето повязка на ши можно прекрасити да сделат алфами в Substance, зачем ее моделит. I'm modeling this thing on the color here because, yeah, you can make it, of course, in the Substance, but I like to be able to see everything on the character on the high poly alone. So that's why I am trying to do everything in the 3D program itself. Maybe stitches I will not do. I will do them in Substance Painter. But things like this kind of a big thing, which will be very visible, I like to do it here to have more control, and also for the feedbacks, because I'm doing it now here. And when I got feedbacks, I will get feedback for this too. If I just wait for it to do it in Substance and I say I will do it in Substance, then we can have problems after. That's how I think, at least. Nico, have you ever seen that tiny Loki head sculpting video where he recommended you head sculpting course in it? Probably if you check out the comments, you will see one of the first comments is mine. So yeah. Lots of sugar cause candidos. Probably. Stress. Good old Prodigy. Yeah. I'm quitting sugar quite hard because I have eaten a lot. Exactly, for me too. I'm replacing sugar with some kind of not with fruits. I'm replacing it with peanuts, with nuts, basically. I'm eating nuts. Suck on my chocolate salted balls. Put it in your mouth and suck 'em, suck 'em. This is from South Park, I think, yeah. The chef is singing this song, I think. But I still feel better and better. First days were painful, headache, tired, and yeah, now I feel way better. Exactly. They say the first 5 days are the worst. And then if you can endure 5 days, then it's about... By the way, once, a couple of years ago, I quitted sugar for 3 months. And it was not the best for me. But I didn't want to eat sugar. When you quit sugar, you just don't crave it at some point. And when you watch a chocolate bar, you say, but who would want to eat that? But then when the 3 months have passed, I said, okay, let me eat just one piece of chocolate. And it was amazing because my sugar receptors were recovered and I was able to feel every last bit of this taste. It was amazing. And I started eating sugar again. It's like smoking. You quit smoking and you don't ever put a cigarette in your mouth. If you put it in your mouth once, you can start smoking again. That's the same with the sugar, Standing desk is a good solution. Exactly, it's very good, by the way. I'm considering it. Standing desks. Nico gives off that cool high school teacher, every student loves energy. Thank you. Do you work out, Nico? If you consider doing some pull-ups and some push-ups every day workout, yes. I try to do every day of the week. So 5 times a week. I try to do 21 pull-ups. 7 plus 7 plus 7. With like minute and a half between them. So 7 pull-ups, minute and a half rest, 7 pull-ups, minute and a half rest, 7 pull-ups. And it's doing fine. I mean, 7 pull-ups is a lot for my weight. I weigh 105 kilograms, by the way. You probably are thinking, Nico is like 80 kilos. No, he's pretty heavy these days. And I'm pretty tall. I'm 194 centimeters. So 1 meter 94 centimeters. I'm on the tall side of people. So 105 kilograms for me is not a big weight. I'm not super overweight or something. I'm not fat. But I feel it a little bit on my belly because my belly fat, since I'm eating a lot of sugar last year. And it's getting on the belly. Okay. In Mexico, most of people drink Coke every day and more than once a day. Exactly. At some point, I think Coca-Cola was cheaper than a bottle of water there. Probably. Steam buffers a lot from his Steam lag again. Why is buffering? I don't know why, by the way. Is buffering or lagging? There is some problem probably. But nobody knows. Nobody knows. Maybe there is one game that I have... There is some idle game that I play on my computer. Probably because of that. I just closed it. But should be no problems now. Hopefully. Steam lag happens around every 10 minutes. It should be because of that game, I'm thinking. Sugar company are trying to silence out Nico. Exactly, yeah. How to model your own body with healthy food. Hi everyone, I use Blender to make stylized character and I even get paid for it. Good for you. I know this might irritate you. Please arm, hand, body and leg anatomy course. I have your head anatomy course, it helps me a lot, so it will be a huge help. Drapery and armor too. Arm, hand, body and leg anatomy course. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will do the arm anatomy and hand in one course, and then I can do another course of body and leg anatomy. Because leg anatomy is important, but not as important as hand, arm, and head anatomy, obviously. So I can do it with the body, but we'll see. But of course, I have a full superhuman anatomy course, which you can check out. There is arm, leg, hand, everything inside. It's for anatomy. So I think it will be good. Hi Nico, how are you doing? I'm doing great, by the way. Will there be a game-ready character for animation tutorial? There is already inside my other channel, so you can check it out. Can you make a 6-figure income as a 3D artist? 6-figure income in which currency? In Vietnam dong, easy, with no problem. In euro and dollars, yes, but you have to be pretty good. Yeah, 6-figure, I mean the lowest 6 figures in an year, in 1 year, of course. That you can do, definitely, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Can you show Artstation portfolio? I will. Just in a couple of minutes. Do you keep your Blender table pref threshold and softness on the default values? Everything is on default. Yeah, I don't know. It's everything is the default for me. Heineko, can we use scanned face models as a base to create our face models for portfolio piece, or does the company want us to create everything from scratch? Usually, you have to create everything from scratch, but if you have scans that you can use to do the certain concept that you have, why not? You can, if you can, you know. Ooh, Tiny Noki is here. Hello, Tiny Noki. I, by the way, watched your video live at the end of it, like the last 10 minutes of it I watched live, and I wrote in the chat even, but you didn't see me. So I was sad and lonely. And I considered, you know, suicide, but I decided maybe it's not worth it. Whatever, it's cool, it's fine, it's okay, no problem. What's your favorite game console? I'm using PlayStation 5, so we can say that's my favorite. How to find a freelancer job, Nico? Artstation, get good, make a lot of followers, and freelance will find you. Ok, Nico, I send you a video of the add-on as soon as it's ready. To give you an idea, it's similar to the ZBrush custom menu, but in Blender. Manage constraint modifiers, etc. without stretching your arm. Well, we'll see. So in other words, stylus-friendly Blender sculpting. Good. Can you make some product modeling, texturing, and so on someday? Product modeling, texturing, and so on, probably not. I'm usually a character artist. I want to develop myself in the character artist role, and I am. That's why I don't do hard surface that much. I'm doing hard surface as long as it concerns the character. For example, they probably will want me to do something like a weapon or a prop for this character, which is okay, because this is for the character. And for the character, every character artist should be able to do everything for the character. So armors, you know, helms and hats and clothes and weapons. But other than that, we don't usually take jobs for just hard surface stuff. For example, somebody will contact me, hey Nico, can you do some weapons for my game? I would say, no, but I can point you to a guy who can. I can do it, but I don't want to do it, you know. I can send you sculptures of hand and you can give me emergency feedback. Emergency feedback for a hand? You can do it by yourself, just watch your hand, you know, it's not very difficult. Tiny Loki is here. Hello, how are you doing? Turn on the shadows. I don't want to turn on the shadows, it will lag the stream again. Everything is lagging the stream. I have to buy a better video card for the streams at least. This red jacket is super good, thank you. Nico, do you rec topology the red jacket guy? No, I haven't recorded it, I just made it by hand. Everything is made by hand. Since the red jacket guy is almost completely symmetrical, excluding a little bit of the back of the jacket and some parts on his belt, he's almost completely symmetrical, so you just need to do one half of the character, you know, surrounded with polygons. I think it didn't took me more than like 7 hours or something to do the whole retopology, I think. How and where can I get a freelancer job, Nico? Oh, this question again, okay. Morning, Nico, so you know, my daughter's cat has your name, but with C. Nico. Good. So so you are considering me something like your daughter's cat. That's nice. Hi, Nico, did you see the auto UVs in Unreal Engine? And hi, Tiny. No, I haven't, because I don't use Unreal Engine. Maybe this is a mistake, but I'm trying to concentrate on one thing, which is mostly Blender these days. I'm trying to concentrate on sculpting with Blender and doing all the things with Blender, kind of developing the whole character workflow. And I already did it, of course, as you can see from my last course with the armored girl. She came out pretty well in Blender. So you can do almost everything in Blender, I would say. You can also save mesh specific environments with the add-on. Select the head mesh and focal length change to 90mm automatically. Matcap cavity settings. It will be nice. You have to make a kind of a video tutorial of the most important and most visually nice, or not visually, but most nice things that you can do with this plugin. Nico, can you sculpt dragon like CGI? Or we can do it together, by the way. If I like the plugin, the add-on, sorry, plugins are for ZBrush, add-ons for Blender. So if I like the add-on for Blender that you're developing, I can make a video about it. It's not a problem for me. For free. Absolutely. Because it's content, you know. Content is always welcome. Yeah. Nico, can you sculpt dragon like CGI? Dragon like CGI. I don't know what is this CGI. I can sculpt dragon, of course, and I'm planning to do it for my other channel, a video about sculpting a dragon, a cartoon dragon, sculpting it from scratch, making the low poly, of course with the help of Quad Remesher, then making the seams and UVs, and then baking in Substance Painter. Maybe not the texturing part, but baking in Substance Painter, maybe basic texture, everything in less than 2 hours. I'm planning to do it. We'll see if I will. But probably I will, because it's easy. Nico is the fastest. Hi Nico, do gaming companies consider people with a good portfolio even though you didn't work previously in gaming? Of course. Of course, the problem is if you cannot do a proper low poly, UVs and texture. Then maybe if you are a hugely nice and very good sculptor, maybe they can take you and teach you. And or they can take you, if it's a big company, they can take you just to do the high polys, and some other people who are just the general 3D people, they can do the low poly and the other stuff, which will be perfect. But usually it doesn't happen this way. But it happens sometimes. For example, Tsetsu Georgiev, the guy that I have polys, he will not do low polys, and he will work only Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So 3 days a week, doing only high polys, only sculpting, and his salary was bigger than mine. But I wasn't mad, because he was much more famous, you know. So it was fine, it was nice. He was there for prestige of the studio, and he was doing stuff like marketing images, stuff for that. Sometimes high polys, and some other guy will do the low polys for the game models. So you can do it, but you have to be either famous and very good, or just very good in sculpting. Or good and fast also. He's very fast, by the way. Maybe faster than me. I stop spamming now and get back to work on it. Thanks for the interest. I'll message you about it later and post the link on the Discord in case anyone else wants to help out testing. It's free. Okay, good. Very good. Love from Pakistan. Hello. Al-salam alaikum. Love you from Bangladesh. Thank you very much. Got back from school and finally I catch the streaming. Ha ha ha. Evil laugh probably. This is the laugh. Got back from school and finally I catch the streaming. Too much. Too much. Hello from Brazil. Okay. Unrefined organic sugar is a fantastic replacement. Not sure. This is sugar. Every sugar, even the sugar inside fruits, is the same poison. But I told you, fruit got the poison, also got the remedy. If you eat just sugar, refined, non-refined, doesn't matter at all. It's sugar. It's fructose and glucose. It's the same chemical compound. It's bad. And it's the amount you eat. You know, you can overdose with water. If you drink like 5 liters of water at the same time and one sitting, you probably will die. Maybe. There are urban legends that some guy in some kind of a university, he was getting into this initiation phase and he had to drink a lot of water and he died from it. So probably you can die from water. It's about the dose. Everything is about the dose. If you eat a little bit of sugar, it's okay. Привет, Николаю, от руски поклонници из Тайланда. Руски из Тайланда. Страхотен си. Thank you very much. So yeah, there are Russian people from Thailand. But yeah, Valentina. Valentina is a Russian name. And also her name is in Cyrillic. So she's Russian, but she's living in Thailand probably. I am a little bit envious because Thailand is a good country. And I like Thailand because of the climate, of course, because of the food. It's amazing. I love it. And mostly about that. And a lot of sea, a lot of nice beaches and everything. It's very cool. Nico, I saw you comment on the brain graft video 4 years ago with manually unit texture painting, but you never texture in that style. Do you have a preference for PBR texturing nowadays? Unlit texture paint. I'm not painting textures because I don't have that kind of freelance. If I have a freelance where I have to paint textures which are unlit, that I have to paint the shadows, I have to paint the highlights, everything, I probably can do it. Of course, not as good as people who are doing it for a lot of time and have a lot of practice, but I probably will handle it. But nowadays I'm just working just normal textures with PBR, just doing some folders. For example, let me show you again this Helm guy, and I will show you how many folders we have. So let's see. We have a lot of layers and folders, and everything was built just from scratch. It's just start with 0 layers, and then you have folders for jacket, folders for this, for that, to just do just basic texture, because this is not some very complex texturing or something. No, it's just basic stuff, but it's working, so it's fine. So what do we have here? We have this amount of layers. You see, they're not too. I have done worse. So this is the jacket folder. This is metals, helm folder. We have leather folder. We have pants folder, belt folder, which doesn't have anything in it. We have eye folder, and the eye I had to add. I have to add what? Emissive, because in default you don't have emissive. I had to add it from here. So yeah, a little bit of substance painter stuff. Eyes, eyelids, and soles of the shoes, and the human skin, the skin. So we have the skin layer, we have skin, and that's it. Yeah, and AO at the top. You know, I always put ambient occlusion as a top layer with multiply and some kind of opacity, which is in this case is low. We can do it high opacity, but I don't think it's necessary. Low opacity is better, especially if this will be used in something like Unreal Engine. It will have opacity and shadows from the Unreal Engine, so it will be fine. But yeah, I quitted sugar 3 months ago and I don't see any difference in my health. That's not good. That's not good at all. Because probably you have to feel it at some point. When you're sugar addict and you eat a lot of sugar, you feel tired most of the day, and it's not good. But if you don't eat sugar, you should be better. But exercise is also a good thing to do. Not only stop eating sugar, but doing exercises, push-ups, pull-ups. For me, for if you are a girl or something, probably some lighter exercise. So push-ups on the knees, not on the toes, but on the knees, and some other stuff with your own body. you know, squats. Squats are the very good exercise. Running or just jumping, jump ropes. Nice. Me prefers salty food than sweet food. Salt also is a poison, but a different one. I will buy every anatomy course you put out. Thank you very much. Hopefully everybody will, and then I will be rich. You know, I will be like Scrooge, like Uncle Scrooge, and will bath in gold coins. You know. Yeah. Nico's tutorials are fantastic. Good. Thank you very much. I switched from RTX 3080 to 3090. Does 24 VRAM help with sculpt or only benefit render? I'm not sure, but either of those cards is very good, I think. So yeah, Tiny Noki is saying that he's sorry about not paying attention to my post in his chat in the video, but it's fine. Opinions on Twitter. Twitter is Twitter, I don't know. Hi Nico, which type of references would you suggest for beginners to improve male anatomy? Bulky characters or lean character? Both have their own difficulties to do. But bulky characters, of course, if you want to learn anatomy, it's better because you will sculpt a lot of muscles. If it's skinny character, it's more difficult to do a skinny character in my opinion. Who is the red jacket guy? It's a freelance project, by the way. It's finished. The guy liked it. The guy, by the way, was the guy that told me to show it. Is the guy that actually pays me to do it. You know, in the chat. I learned a lot from you. I'm glad catching your stream. Thank you, Fraxus. Nico, I've been studying while making a lot of heads so far, but I want to make a body. Would it be better to make my head perfectly without reference than make a body? No. When you start working on your body anatomy, I mean body, torso, then you can practice your head anatomy with it. Because when you practice your body anatomy, you will do heads. You have to do heads. I am very much against doing practices like individual things. For example, doing a torso without arms and head and legs. For me, this is not good. Because you have to always practice and learn and try to learn the connections between this connection here, which is the shoulder and the chest and the biceps. This connection is pretty difficult for most people. So if you don't practice it, you will not know how to do it. And the connection between the neck and the head and all these things are good. So together, so working together. Of course, the only thing that I like to practice alone is heads, because heads are the most important thing. And you can sometimes get a freelance of doing only heads, only just heads of characters, which is not unusual. Different heads, so they can put it on one body and change it, for example. It's common. But barely you will get a freelance of doing just different torsos or different arms, just, you know, separate from the other things. So the head can be learned separately, but the body, you have to put head on it also so you can see all the things. And if you put just the head, just a basic head, why don't you just practice a little bit on it just to keep yourself in a good level? Can you create a mentorship? I don't know. Maybe I can, but can I? Nobody knows. Shrike, if I can message you in Discord. If so, your name in IY. I don't know. I study 8 hours a day and I need to study at home and useful plan to practice and improve my sculpt. You just practice and improve, but I always say it. Practice, valuable practice. Don't just do something for the sake of it. Always watch references and work from references. That's my advice. What happened? I don't know. How's Romania, Thailand? Oh, we have a lot of questions, so let's go to the Artstation reviews, by the way. I will finish this outside the camera probably. This is my desktop, by the way, so you can see I'm a very messy guy. I'm not afraid to admit it. I should be probably, but I'm not. But I should be. But I'm not. Okay, we have a lot of things, but I don't... Let's see, where were we last time? Ah, I think we saw those things. Let's go down more. Okay, yes, we saw those. We have seen some of those. No, we haven't. Alright, this Bugs Bunny. I don't know where we are, actually. That's a bummer. We have to check it out. But the last thing I remember... If somebody can tell me which was the last thing, but I will, when I see it, I will recognize it, I think. Or will I? No, we're going too much up. We should be around... Let's see. Oh. I cannot see it because I have... That's interesting. I don't know where we are with the Artstation reviews. The last time. I have to put the last video and see exactly the date of the last thing. So I might do that. Why not? Yeah, it will take a little bit of time. A couple of seconds maybe. So yeah, bear with me here.
Have the knowledge now.
Stop the knowledge, my friend. Let's go and see the sea. Okay, it's 8:20. We got to the 20th of August. 20th of August. Come on, 20th of August. 14th, 15th. But I haven't seen this one, by the way. It's interesting. Let's see it again. Bugs Bunny. Okay. Nice. Interesting things. I can say a few things about the biceps anatomy and this transition here between the biceps and the shoulder, but overall, this looks pretty good. Yeah, hopefully the stream is okay, by the way. I don't know. Yeah. But it looks... those things looks pretty nice. Alicante. I think I was in Alicante, by the way, in Spain. It's I think it's in the southern Spain. If it's there, I was there. When I was young. But this is good. So 2020, but I don't know. I don't think we have seen this. Because these are 9. I'm stupid. Yeah. I'm with stupid. Which I'm stupid. Probably we were around. Yeah, here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we saw this girl, which is very nice. Or even if we haven't, we will see it again. Looks pretty good. Inner Wild. Wow. This is real time in Blender artwork. It recorded in the YouTube channel. Let's see the YouTube channel. So good. Just less than 1,000 subscribers, and this guy or girl, I don't know, it's not bad at all. I see there are nice things going on. Cool. Promising successor of Nico, you know. Let's see here. Most people who are doing this kind of YouTube channels with some modeling, they usually don't speak, which is they usually just put the music, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not as entertaining. You have to be able to like entertain people. You have to be able to speak different things. I think we saw this already, so we will not see it again. Let's see this one. When I see the portfolio, I kind of remember when we C1 or not. So here what I'm noticing is this guy. I'm pretty sure it's a guy because the name sounds like it's a male name. He's from Nairobi, Kenya. So his stuff is very dark. Everything is very dark. We have very dark shadows, almost black, which usually when you want to show your character, you don't want these black shadows. You want everything to be almost kind of visible, because the idea is not to make an artwork or something like art. No, the idea is to show off that you can make a nice character, detailed, with nice anatomy and everything. Because with all this darkness and all these black things, and of course, as you can see, the eyes are pretty big, but if it's a stylization, it's kind of okay. The face itself, the color is a little bit wrong. I mean, it's muddy. I'm not saying the color is wrong. I mean it's muddy. It's not like supposed to be. And here also we have this huge black shadows which are not doing it very nice. But here we see it's a decent model. It's not the best. It's not the worst. This guy needs to spend more time doing folds, for example. They are just like something like a base mesh, like something I put just to see where everything will go, and then I refine. This is not refined, and the color is not refined, the face is not quite refined, although it's stylized, okay, I know, but it needs some more work. And the hair also, yeah, some more work, yeah, definitely, that's fine. Let's see this one. Wow, this has an animation. Body mechanics study with making animation. I like how the hair is animating. The model itself, I don't know because of the animation or why, it doesn't look quite nice. The model itself is kind of not good, but this guy is an animator. So let's see his other animation. Okay, not the best, but I cannot quite say about animation since I don't think I can make even this one. So in my opinion, when you cannot do something better than the guy that you are commenting on, probably shouldn't comment on. So I will not comment on the animations that much. I can comment on the character itself. This animation is kind of nice though, and the hair is cool. And the head of this character looks pretty cool with the hair. Very cool even. The model itself, I don't know, maybe the animation is stretching it and making it look a little bit bad. Probably it's kind of fine, I'm not sure. We cannot say. We have to see it in a normal pose. We don't have it. I have a good feeling about this one though. This guy is from Istanbul, Turkey. Gökhan. And Gökhan is looking great. So those are probably his works from school, I guess, because he looks like a young guy. So I'm a little bit like detective here. So this guy probably, let's see when he posted this, last year. So probably he has finished school maybe last year or few years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And then he started to do some 3D models, which are pretty nice. Let's see this one, for example. It looks promising, and it's pretty great, I would say. Nice colors, nice lighting, and overall very good modeling. It's pretty nice. I like it a lot. So this guy has a lot of potential, we may say, but you don't need to have potential in order to become a very good sculptor, a very good character artist, or very good whatever. As I said, potential is good, and this guy will get good very fast, because obviously he kind of knows what he's doing, and he's pretty young right now. And this character, for example, is looking pretty cool. Probably the arms can be a little bit longer, or there is some issue with the arms, but this is stylization again. Probably the concept is similar to this style, so it's fine. I would say a little bit more light overall will be okay, but even like this it's not bad. And also when you show a character in pose, you better just fix the pose a little bit. So make the elbows a little bit, elbow usually is very sharp. So in stylization it also will be sharp. Let's see the student. Yeah, it's pretty sharp elbow, as we can see. So those little things that are visible, this guy is not professional, but if he continues to develop himself, I'm sure that he will be professional in no time, because he's more than intermediate in my opinion, especially in some areas. He's presenting his stuff pretty well, which is usually you cannot say about many people. So now here, when I see the overall portfolio, I see relatively nice presentation, a lot of light in the models. We can see what's happening. I can see what is in those thumbnails. And I will click on this first one because it's a female, of course. It's nice to see. It's a pretty good model, I would say. The presentation is not as good as it should be, but the model itself looks very nice. The hair is a little bit hit and miss, but I think this is a low poly, which I'm not sure exactly. It looks like a low poly though. But is it? It seems like a low poly. Usually when you have a low poly, okay, yeah, it is a low poly, and it's a pretty good. I always say, if you have low polys, if you show low polys in your Artstation, show the wireframe, because people should know that this is a low poly. So this image should be a little bit more upwards here, so we can see it's a low poly. But it's very nice. It's very cool model. Just the rendering is a little bit dark for me. It's very cool. The shoes and the legs can have a little bit more work, but this guy obviously is pretty good. Let's see this one. Okay, this is pretty nice. Of course, the anatomy, the legs, it needs a little bit more work, not on this character, more practice to get it right is what I mean. This character is already done, and it's printed, and in printed it looks very nice. You know why printed figures usually looks better than the 3D? Because the rendering of the 3D printed figures is usually realistic, because they are real, you know, they are in real lighting and everything. And this looks pretty cool. I like the feet, by the way, in the... Yeah, the feet are pretty well made. But the skirt is, you know, some of the folds are looking a little bit off. But, you know, it's pretty cool. It's very nice. This one needs better texturing, definitely. But, those are just a lot of works. So 3 characters in one setting, something like Mass Effect. Personal concept explorations. So yeah, working from your own concept is good. Usually don't want to put it in Artstation, because, you know, if you are not a very good 2D artist, usually your concepts will be kind of messy and not very well made, not very nice with the overall shapes and everything. And then your models will inherit that not very well thing. And at the end result will be one of your weakest sculpts, for example. Because those 2 in the beginning, those 2 are nice, those 3 here are not as good. And the render also and the textures not as good. So yeah, I would say this guy have future if he doesn't think that he has finished developing himself. Because if you sometimes think that you are you are finished developing yourself, you are a complete artist, then you are doomed. Everybody has to develop, and everybody has to grow. Nico's Forest Archer are taking too much of his connection. Yes, I'm. Yeah, the Archer Forest is taking a lot of connection. Definitely. Archer Forest. So we'll see this, but let me answer some questions, because I see there's a lot of talking and I don't know what's happening. I finished 2.53 absolute beginner guides and I need like 2 weeks to show you result. Okay? Nico Evil Love, amazing. Hello from Israel, hope all is well with you, Nico. Obviously, if you are considering my Evil Love, probably not all is okay in here with Nico, but it's normal. It's we all artists, we are artistic people, we are not completely normal. We have a little bit of crazy inside of us, some have more, but it's different subject. Nico, you forgot to make the 5th finger on the character's hand. That's exactly how they want it. With 4 fingers and 4 toes. You know, if I was using base mesh for this character, for example, and if you have watched the first, you know, the first stream of this character, you would not even mention this. But you haven't, so yeah. You can drown yourself drinking too much indeed. Probably. How's Romania? Romania is very good, I like it. Thailand is very hot compared to Europe. That's probably true, yeah. But usually when I visit Thailand was... No, usually. I visit Thailand once. It was in the December. It was in December when I'm born in 1st of December. So my birthday was there. I was there on my birthday. It was pretty nice. The climate was nice on the island especially. Namaste Speed from Indian. Good. You could live in Thailand because it's cheaper than Bulgaria now. I don't think it's too much cheaper. It was cheaper back in the days. Nowadays, since it's very touristic, it depends where you are, of course. If you are on a very touristic spot, it will be much more expensive probably than Bulgaria, or at least as expensive. But nowadays, Bulgaria, if you go to a restaurant in Sofia, here in the capital of Bulgaria, it's called Sofia if somebody doesn't know. If you go to a restaurant here to eat, you will pay the same amount of money as in Greece, in the nice seaside, in the sand, in some kind of a restaurant there. The prices are the same, which is sad. This means that in Greece the prices haven't changed so much in the last few years. In Bulgaria they have changed a lot. And the inflation should be the same, I don't know why. Nico, do you have any idea of the VFX side of the industry? Not too much. I mean, which one do you think has more opportunities? VFX artists are always looked for. People are looking for good VFX artists. So if you are good in any industry or any side of the industry, you will be okay. If you are very good in cleaning toilets, I always say that, you probably will, if you are one of the best people in cleaning toilets, which I don't know how somebody can be super much better than other people in cleaning toilets, but if you are, for example, much better than other people in the planet of cleaning toilets, you will be cleaning toilets in the 7-star hotel in Dubai, for example, and you will get like $5,000 a month for cleaning toilets. It's just, of course, an example which probably is not true, but yeah. Don't eat artificial sweeteners. I am behind that also. Any good add-on for topology? Not too much. At least I'm not using. I'm sure there are, but yeah. Hello, Uncle Nico. Can I make a tutorial about texturing in Substance Painter? I have one. You can check it out in my Artstation store, which is in the link in the description of the video. Hey Nico, I was a carpenter from Canada. I got kidney disease for 2 years, unable to work and do everyday stuff. Sorry about that. I recently got my kidney removed and I'm feeling much better. So you have only one kidney. So I heard that the kidneys are replaceable. Not replaceable, but you can live without one kidney. So one kidney is removed, the other one will take over his job. The problem is when the other one, if it got sick, it will be a very big issue. But of course, people without kidneys, I think, can live. They have to go regularly, once every 2 days or something, to clean their blood with the machine, I think. Have you tried the new hair system in Blender? Can you show us the easy way? No, I haven't. Do you know any good tutorials for character lighting? My tutorials are decent for that. Because in each character tutorial that I do, at the end I do a render. I, design the light scheme and everything, and I show some things. So yeah. But other than that, probably you can check out in YouTube. There should be some courses, tutorials or videos about it. What's the best course to learn faults? Course about faults, probably. I don't know. But should be course about faults. Why not? Why not? Hi, bro. Hi, Nico. Have a good stream. How much are 3D groomers in demand at game dev now? There is very little information and vacancies for this profession. If you're a very good 3D groomer, make very good hairs, probably you can find some place in some big companies. Small companies, they don't do that, but in big companies, if you are good there, because when they do games like Starfield, for example, in Starfield they have pretty nice hairs, so they need people to do that. But of course, there are not super big amount of big companies that can do stuff like this, so I'm not sure, probably, yeah, but if you're good in this, you will find your place. And also you can do grooms to sell. You can sell hairs with hair cards, for example. You can sell bundles, like for example 20 haircuts for $10 in Artstation. If they're good and well made with hair cards, everybody will buy them. Me personally, probably I will buy them if some of the haircuts will be good for some of my characters, because it's a hideous process for most 3D artists to make hair with hair cards. It's not creative in my opinion. It doesn't fit me well, and most of the people that I know that are character artists, they hate it also. So if you are good with this, you can make money from us. Have you ever struggled with procrastination? How did you overcome it? I struggle with procrastination almost every day. I overcome it easy, by the way. Back in the days when I was living alone, let me tell you this. Back in the days when I was living alone, I was not able to, to deal with procrastination at all. It was not possible for me. I was playing games, I was watching movies, I was watching YouTube, and I was not doing too much freelance because I haven't had freelance. If I had freelance, probably I would do it. But practicing and stuff I was doing at work, because at work you have to work, and if you don't have work, you just practice. You just practice your anatomy and stuff. You just get better at work, which is great. But if you are not having this kind of work, if you have another work, and when you go home you have to practice, that's when the things are getting difficult. And my kind of push, something that pushes me to do everything, to do courses, to do these videos, is my family, because I have to support them. And if it was only me, I can live on much less money. But now I have to support my kids and my wife also. And when we go to some kind of a trip, because we are in the big city, it's getting very dirty in the winter. The air is difficult to breathe. So we have to go more on vacations on the winter. But for this we need money, because when you go to vacation you have to pay. And when you are a family, you have to pay more for an apartment. Kids in one room and the adults in the other room. This is more comfortable. Of course, if I don't have enough money, I should get everybody in one room, but it's not very good to do that usually. But family is a good way to get rid of the procrastination. And also, what else? Shame. Yeah, when I don't work for a while, when I don't practice for a while, when I just watch movies or play games for a while, I start to feel shame. And this shame is making me start a model or do something, do a stream, for example. Shame is a good motivator for me. Maybe some people are not ashamed of this, but if you're not ashamed of this, it's okay for you. Or if you're not hungry. Probably hunger also is a good motivator, I'm not sure. Hopefully I will never find out, but who knows. What courses do you recommend in anatomy? I recommend my courses. I recommend link in the description of the video, of course, you can find them there. But Proco, go to Proco channel in YouTube. Proco. He's a Polish guy, I think, but living in America, probably born in America also. So Proco is a very amazing course for anatomy, free in YouTube. It has a paid version, which I paid for, but you don't need it in the beginning, especially. It's absolutely enough what he has free in YouTube. Go to his channel and check out his playlists, and in the playlist find the anatomy. And it's super nice, very well made, with a sense of humor. Just the best anatomy series in my opinion, hands down. He doesn't have head anatomy, I think, but since I have head anatomy courses exercise, we kind of complement each other pretty well. Hi Nico, are you finished? I never finish. I missed a lot of your stream. I'm almost finished with the stream, by the way. Maybe we have like 20 minutes more. Yeah, 20 minutes more. But we can make it even bigger this time. It doesn't matter. If people are watching, it's cool. The other day I saw an add-on for Blender for Ritopo. Can I link here? It's from Twitter. You know, there are a lot of add-ons for Retopo. Not a lot, but there are a few which are very famous. And some of them are working, some of them are lagging, some of them have issues, bugs, problems. I prefer to not use add-on, because in my opinion, you can use add-ons, it's okay, but first you need to know how to retopologize, what's the overall thing, how to retopologize. And for this, you can do it by hand with no issues. And learning how to retopologize by hand, then when you use a tool, and when you learn the tool, of course, it will be much easier for you, and you will know both, and you will be able to do both. But manual retopology, in my opinion, is the best, especially for heads. When you have to have animations, you open a head with topology, with a nice topology from internet. There are a lot of them, or at least one or two. And you just try to do the same topology for your character, and it's fine. You just watch it as an image. I do that sometimes. When Nico admit he's a Messi guy, but not Ronaldo guy. Yeah, exactly. I'm a Messi guy, although Ronaldo, I think, it's taller, so he should be closer than me. But I don't know. Difference between your live stream and anatomy courses. Your live stream and anatomy courses. Difference. The anatomy course is only about anatomy. Here we are bullshitting. I'm bullshitting a lot. What I mean by that is I'm talking about all other stuff. I can talk about sugar, I can talk about poop, I can talk about... Even, I haven't talked about this, but let me show you something. A few days ago, a hornet... Let me show you the hornet. Here it is. You cannot see it. I don't know what's happening here. Come on, show the hornet. Yeah, it's here. It's huge, by the way. It's a huge hornet. And he tried to enter my house. Just behind me, there is a door to the balcony. Come on, focus, focus, focus. It's very slow to focus this camera, whatever. So there's a door to the balcony. And he tried to enter this door, but there is a curtain. And I saw him. I was in my computer playing Starfield. And I heard, it was like a little bit after midnight. And I heard super huge noise like this, and I was like, what's happening? And I saw this huge monster trying to get in from the curtain, and I went and just smash it with my fingers, like with my hands like this. But when you smash wasp or hornet like this, you have to be like this, very fast. If you keep your hands like this, you are doomed. It will be smashed, but it will sting you definitely. So I always do it like very fast. And I killed it. And it's a, you know, it's so strong animal. It's dead, but it's still not smashed or something. It looks whole. It's interesting. By the way, it was, I think, last week. I was sitting outside with some guy, and we were talking, and suddenly we saw a wasp, and the wasp was hovering around us, and it landed on the table, and I smashed it with my hand like this, and but very fast. I smashed it and moved my hand, and it stuck on my palm here. It was stuck inside in here, and I was like, "What?" Because I thought it would sting me, but it couldn't. It couldn't sting me. Yeah, it was a happy coincidence. It was stick on my hand with his body fluids, you know, because I smashed it so hard. It stays on my hand. It's a dangerous job to kill wasps and hornets, but somebody has to do it, you know. Yeah. And I like to do it by hand, because, you know, when you use something like a shoe or a newspaper, you're using a tool which is not fair, you know. You have to be hand-in-hand combat. When the wasp is coming at you, it's using only what it has naturally, what it's born with. So I'm trying to do the same. I'm trying to be fair with the wasp and the hornet. Of course, I'm like a couple of thousand times their size, but other than that, they're faster. They have the sting. I don't have the sting. So, yeah. Elephant. Who is elephant? I don't know. Go up elephant. Go up elephant. What the elephant? Live stream, he will chat with us. In anatomy courses, he will chat with himself. Exactly. I'm here also, I'm chatting with myself sometimes, but yeah. You're looking at September. This is so long ago. No, it's no, you miss a lot of guys. You're in September, Nico. He missed the month. No, he missed the month. Southeast, Monthly East, okay. Too dark. Racist Nico, lol. Of course. Nico, I knew that there will be comment like this. Nico, have you tried something in a sculpt? I got a tour box recently and it's a massive workflow turbo changer. I feel like playing Devil May Cry with a instead of keyboard. I mean the thing from the PlayStation, the controller. No, I haven't tried it. I don't know, but you know, I'm probably too old to try this kind of super new things. It's for you young people to do it, you know. I'm just for the old-fashioned sculpting and stuff. Can you check my Artstation? Need some feedback, thank you. Someday. But you see, most of the feedback that I'm giving for the guys that you see on the screen, when you see some Artstation portfolios that I review, most of the things you can kind of consider for your portfolio. So there are a lot of, and as you can see, most of the things are, I say constantly, for most portfolios I say too dark, too much black, the thumbnails doesn't look very nice, the background is too noisy and distracts from the character, anatomy is not good enough. Those things are usually the things that we say. Nico, what's the Sari Mercedes YouTube link in your bookmarks? I just put it there because I was watching this movie at some point. I wanted to see it. I like this kind of old movies, old Turkish movies, old Russian movies, old Bulgarian movies. They have this little charm. Of course, this movie, the problem is it's not translated and it's difficult to understand what they're talking about, but overall I know what's happening in the movie, the Sari Mercedes movie. I mean, it's Turkish, since I don't know Turkish that much. But the old Russian movies, I watch them without any translation, it's fine. I understand most. Bulgarian movies, of course, I watch. It's cool. It's cool. By the way, for Turkish movies, it's not that old, of course, but Gora and Arok and a few others. Recep İvedik. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think there is a 7, but probably it is. But Recep İvedik is the best. Recep İvedik. So, good morning, Nico from Michigan, USA. Oh, Michigan, USA. Hello. Everybody from Michigan. The Artstation review is a great thing for those artists who are grinding. Yes? What's the best course to learn faults? Nobody knows. Probably I should make a course about faults, although they should be courses about faults. If you go to Udemy or to Artstation and write faults in the tutorial section in Artstation or in Udemy, write faults and see what's happening, you know. Hey Nico, I still consider myself a beginner in sculpting characters. How long is too long for practice anatomy sculpts? Probably too long to be a beginner. If you are still a beginner after like 2 years of constant practice, it's a problem. It's a problem. It's even a problem probably after 1 year. If you are practicing almost every day for like 5 or 6 hours every day, you will not be a beginner in, let's say, 3 to 5 months. You probably will not be a beginner anymore. But who knows? I don't come here for the art, I come here for the poop stories. Sorry, no poop stories today, but there will be some. It's always nice to listen to you telling a story. Thank you. Can you be both 2D and 3D artist, or is this a portfolio flag? You can, I think. If you were in the beginning you were 2D and then you went into the 3D industry, which usually is the case, because I don't know people who are in the beginning 3D and then they go back and start being 2D artists. Not go back, but start doing... No. Usually people are coming from 2D background because it's easier to do 2D than 3D. 2D requires just some software like Photoshop or even Paint. You know, just very basic software. Because Photoshop is basic, especially for the basic functions that you need them to. You have to know how to create a layer, how to delete a layer, how to make a new layer. and how to select the brush and how to change the colors usually, and that's almost enough to start drawing in Photoshop. So it's much easier than Blender, much easier than 3D program. So the thing that you have to jump is much higher when you go to a 3D. But can you be both 2D and 3D? Probably you have to choose one of those and develop yourself mostly in that area, because when people come and look for a 2D artist and they see that you're doing 3D things, I don't know. The thing is that you can be a very good 2D artist with 3D help. You can just do basic things. I know a guy here in Bulgaria. He's the first guy who made an art book here in Bulgaria, and the first guy who made a second art book. So he have 2 art books with the help of the Kickstarter. He made, he's a good character artist, and not only characters he's doing, and he's helping himself with ZBrush. He's doing some basic sculpt in ZBrush very fast, and then he's putting it in Keyshot, making a nice render. In Keyshot it's very easy to make a nice render for a lot of polygons, it's not a problem. And then he's making an image and he's drawing over it in Photoshop. Easy. Nico, opinion on flip normals. Flip normals, what about them? I haven't watched, by the way, anything new from their channel lately. I don't know what's happened with them. But the site, Flip Normals, all my courses are there. You can find them there also. I don't know. The problem with Flip Normals and buying from Flip Normals, which I don't recommend usually, because when you buy my courses from Flip Normals, you buy them from $20-something. Although I put the price of $20, they sell it for a little bit more. I don't know why. This is strange for me. And I get like $13 from this $20, for example. 13. In Artstation, I sell the course for $20, but I get $18.50 for a course. So in Artstation, it's much more profitable. In Udemy it's different. If you buy it from my from the link in the description of my of the promo video in my other channel, then I get like 90% of the money. If you buy it directly from Udemy, I get sometimes very low amount. I noticed that the less I get from people from Turkey, because maybe they get the courses for less. In Turkey, everything is less expensive. I don't know if you know, but online, if you go to an online game, and if the game knows that you're from Turkey, the prices in the game are sometimes twice lower than half of the real prices that you will pay in United States or in Europe in that game. In Udemy, it's almost the same. The courses are far less expensive in Turkey than in other countries. That's why sometimes I get from my courses, so one sale, I get $1.50, for example, from one sale of the course. But it's fine, it's fine. The middle point is around, I think, $3-4 a course, because some courses I get $1.50. For some courses I get $12 if you buy it from my link in the description of the course promo in the other channel. So yeah. Posted pic of head sculpt in Discord. Figure from stream. Please feedback. Figures from stream. It's relatively fine, but I think your the ears have to be a little bit better developed. They look like paper ears right now. Just inflate them a little bit and work on them a little bit more. The mouth is sits a little bit low. Just push it up a little bit. Your field of view is very bad, but the overall form of the character is good. Your field of view is probably the default 50. Change it to 88 at least, but overall it's not bad. I mean, I like the forms around the eye. The mouth could be smaller and a little bit more up, but the skull looks relatively fine, so it's good. Okay, this was a quick feedback. What's happening now? Where were we? So when I change from Artstation portfolios to another, it goes somewhere. I don't know what's happening here, but it's probably some kind of a bug, or it's feature which is a bug. Elephant Man. Okay, this one. Let's say this one, and Yeah, today I haven't checked too many Artstations, which I'm sorry about. So here, what I will notice is too dark as a render. We want to see the face more than everything, so it's better to be lit, the face to be more lit. Also, there is a lot of contrast. The contrast is bumped into the max. That's why we have very dark areas, which is usually not the best. So yeah, some people can say that this is a good look. It looks a little bit like Borderlands, but it's not exactly. These super black areas are not quite nice. So yeah, other than that, the sculpt looks relatively fine. It has grooming of the hair, which is good also. A pose, nice arm with a pistol, which looks great. I would say not super bad. The render is problematic a little bit. This, by the way, immediately I can say it's Uncanny Valley smile. It's not quite enough to just pull the corners of your mouth up. There are a lot of things that change in the face when you make a smile. Also the arm, it looks like tentacles because it doesn't look like it has a bones inside. It looks a little bit smooth, too smooth. That's what we can say about this. What else? Other than that, this guy, definitely I've seen people working in the industry which are on worse level than this. But the industry is constantly evolving, and nowadays, I don't know. Back in the days, like let's say 10 years ago, this guy will find job very easy in the industry, in some company from mobile games, for example, not a big issue. Now, not so much. Now the level is higher, and you have to be better. For example, here, this arm, this hand particularly look very bad. Doesn't have knuckles. It's very flat in here, doesn't have knuckles. And of course, if this is a low poly, and then you make a pose in Unreal, probably there's no way to sculpt to make knuckles there. I don't know how it works. But the base mesh, it doesn't look bad. Even the arms and hands, they look pretty good. But again, it's too dark. Everything is very dark. And the face, probably it's kind of okay. Of course, not completely okay. There are things that can be better. But the hair, the rim light is pretty nice. So there are things that are very nice. There are things that are not in a super good level. The problem is that when you are on this level, which is around advanced level, so in intermediate to advanced level, you can make a character, you can make props, you can make textures, you can make low poly characters, and you have to work on your anatomy, you have to work on a little bit more, because he's not bad in anatomy. Even in face anatomy, he can do stuff, but it's just not as good, you know. Bigger is always better for streams. At least that's what she said. Of course. Do you do the mouth cavity after you're done with the high poly, or do you do it in the beginning? No, now for this character, I have to have a mouth cavity. So probably I will do it on stream. But when the people say that this is the face that we want, and I ask them, can I do the mouth cavity now? I have to slightly open the mouth and put teeth inside, put a tongue. And this I have to, I probably can do it in stream, but in the beginning, the most important thing is to make the face that is good, and they will be happy about it, because as you can see, it's not the same as the concept, because in the concept it is strange. But that was the thing. I made something, I gave them, they feedback me, drawing over my sculpt, and then I made the feedback, and this is where we get to. This is what they like. So it was not a problem for me that this is not super well drawn. The thing is that they have to know what they want, even if they cannot draw it particularly well. And we will make it, it's not a problem. What's the fun? Gora is legendary, yes. High from talent, B lives matters. Yeah. And now you keep the Hornet's body as a trophy. Why not? I keep it next to my camera, because my camera is on kind of a little thing like this on top of my monitors, and I keep it next to the camera just to remind me of the thing. By the way, Probably you will not be able to see it on camera, but it has a huge sting on the back of his body. Just amazingly big. It's like a hypodermic needle. If it stings you, it will be ultra painful. You engage in honorable combat with all pests. No. The smelly bugs, or the stinky bugs, I think they're calling them, I kill them with my gun. And I showed the gun in my other stream. It's a salt gun. I bought it from AliExpress. And it broke in like a couple of days. It had broken, but I opened it and I fixed it. I fixed it very, very strangely with some heat and some wire. And it was interesting because it's plastic, and this part that broke has a lot of energy inside of it, so I had to kind of embed with heat a metal wire in order to keep it straight. It was not the most simple thing to do, but I did it because I like the gun. And now I'm using it to kill those smelly bugs or stinky bugs, and they require like at least 3 shots to be murdered. The first shot is just making them like, well, what's happening? The second shot is like, no, and the third shot is finishing them usually. Nico, can you show last artwork? This is the last one. You engage in horrible combat with all. Yes, Gora is legendary. Yes. 6 portfolios for 2 hours. I'll die before it's my turn. Yeah, I'm sorry about that because I answer questions. I do this. You should call the stream questioning answers. So you're mad, Andrei? Are you mad? Don't be. Forgive me, Andrei. It's cool. I know you don't have to, but still, guys are waiting. You shouldn't wait. I mean, all the feedback that I'm giving, it's the same for everybody. It's not the same, but it's almost the same. You can apply most of the feedback that I'm giving, you can apply it to your portfolio and say, oh yes, I'm doing this a little bit darker things, or my background is not very good. It's too bright, for example, it's too colory. By the way, backgrounds, they shouldn't be too saturated color usually. You can get away with it. My background, for example, are usually blue and light blue, but still, yeah. Hello from Russia, thank you for courses and stream. Thank you, Nikita. Nico, I paint eyes on my sculpts like you do, but I feel something is off with them. Can you give me some feedback? I posted my character on the Whip channel. Everybody's posting stuff. Well, no, I don't go away from the Artstation channel now, because then I will be lost again. So, maybe later in the Whip channel. Let's see this one. Adham from Egypt. Adham. But it's not bad. He has done the Next Tooth Education course, I see. He has done my course too. So, 50-50. Next Tooth, my course. Let's see the dragon, by the way, and the horse. Too dark. The model itself looks very nice. It's not huge problem. Here in the chest it's a little bit problematic, but the nose and the mouth part of the horse has to be a little bit more inflated, more big. But there are issues like this, of course, but overall it looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. But this first render, it's too dark. Maybe it could be a little bit lighter, but it's just a print screen from ZBrush, I guess, so it's like this. But this guy can do stuff. If he pushes himself, he can do nice things. Of course, this one, a little bit problems with anatomy, the overall clothes and stuff. It's a whip, usually, it's a whip. But you don't post whips here. It's a work in progress, it seems, because it's not refined. My work in progress are looking similar to this, of course, with a little bit better anatomy, but the clothes, I put them just like this, just to have something there. And then, when I'm okay, everything looks kind of okay, I start to refine them, I start to push them more into the skin, because now those wraps, they look like they're out of they're kind of not touching the skin and stuff like this. It's not good. And the render also is not quite well. Let's see this boy finally. This boy looks relatively nice, but the fingers, You know, when you make fingers and they look nice, and then when you smooth them, they look like this. Because they usually shrink a little bit and get more rounded and look like this, which is not quite what you want. Here though, it looks quite well. And the folds here don't look bad. And of course, I usually proclaim making thicker fabrics, thicker clothes. Because thin ones, especially for a stylized character, they can work, of course, and they are working here relatively well. It has textures, it has some dirt on his knees, and I like the shoes, by the way. The shoes are pretty good. Yeah, they have detail and nice. Okay, yeah, this guy is getting good. This, what is this? All right. Let's see. Quentin from Paris. Quentin from Paris. He's doing cars, he's doing other things, and League of Legends fan art. It's a character, right? The wraps are difficult to do, by the way, and difficult to do properly, especially. Because he had done wraps, and they look relatively nice, but not quite. The sword is good. This is distracting, by the way, the background that's rotating. The hair is nice. The skirt is pretty cool. The anatomy of the character is not bad, I would say, not bad. It has everything. It looks pretty cool. The render is not quite on the best level. Here, this looks cool. And the skin is nice. The stylization looks nice. This looks very nice. But when it gets completely dark, it's not good. He has to cut the part of the complete darkness and just leave the rest. And the rest is impressive. It looks pretty cool. And it's a low poly, or something like a low poly, we may say. This is not exactly a super low poly, especially those wraps. They are pretty much a lot of polygons. So this is not completely a low poly. Yeah. But yeah, we say nice. This one, what is this? Sai. This is Sai from Poland. Sai from Poland is doing mostly props. Let's see this gun, by the way. It looks very nice. Yeah. Looks pretty nice. The only thing, I would not do all those sharp things that sharp. They have to have a little bit of a bezel, a little bit of a bevel. So we can have a little bit of a tiny specular there or something to see that we have. Otherwise, it looks like flat like this and then this. And physically, there always is a little bit of a specular on the edge. Except for a knife, of course, but knives are difficult to get right. Especially if you look at them from this point here. But this one looks relatively fine. Although this is not my favorite design, since you know I like knives. This one is a little bit better as a design. I like it. Yeah. But again, yeah. So yeah, let's see the character at last. Yeah, a lot of work it needs to be done on facial anatomy. Because usually when you are an artist that's doing props, you don't do too much anatomy sculpting, and you cannot get very good in anatomy. This one is from my stream, by the way. Speed Chart Tiger, it's called. Speed Chart Tiger. I think we have seen this, by the way, in recent portfolio views. Yeah, this is very nice kind of a candy stuff. And the Speed Chart Tiger. Yeah, those are nice things which can work for very specific tasks. And for specific things, this guy will be ideal, or girl. Maybe girl, I'm not sure. But nobody knows, because Sena in Turkey could be a male name, I think. Not sure. Nico, I paint eyes on my sculpts. Yeah, painting eyes is good, by the way. It's working. You don't need physically to have everything in the eye. I think I dislike about Fleet Normals is all day self-made tutorials focus on teaching people workflows as if they're trying to get a junior position at DNEG. I don't know, they are teaching a lot of nice things, but especially in their anatomy tutorials, because they have some how to make a human head and stuff, they just are not that good. They are good technically, they can teach you a lot of things, but for anatomy they know the theory and they're well prepared for the theory, but their end result is just not on point. But it doesn't matter. They're fun. They make very nice, the videos they make are watchable. I like that. I watch them with pleasure, and they're not boring. That's why their channel has that much more visitors, and that's much more subscribers than my channels. And also they made a business out of it. They made this Flip Normal store where they sell everything art related, and it's good. Hi Nico, in your Viking tutorial you explain male anatomy as you did in female armor tutorial. Thanks. Do you explain male tutorial? I explain male anatomy to a certain level, but the most I explain male anatomy in Superhuman Anatomy course. In the Viking I explain it just so you can just make the course itself, the character. But of course anatomy is a huge topic, so yeah. Nico, we should come up with advanced tutorial on sculpting characters. So my tutorials are not advanced. I'm sad. But yeah, whatever. Nico, we need a course for sculpting stylized female heads and body. Heads and body, female stylized. Maybe I can do a video in... I have a video in my other channel about stylized female sculpting, head sculpting. Also in this channel I've sculpted a couple of times stylized heads, so you can check them out. Why not? Body, yes, maybe. Andrei, why are you crying, Andrei? Ah, you're the guy that said that I have done 6 tutorial reviews in... yeah. I didn't know that this tutorial reviews and Artstation reviews, I mean, mean so much to you guys. For some of you, obviously they mean like super huge amount of much. They mean a lot. Yeah. Can you give a feedback on my work in Artstation portfolio? When the time comes, I would say. Let's answer the last questions and finish this. And I hope I will make soon another video with only Artstation things. Maybe a little bit of sculpt in the beginning just to start with, just a little bit, and then. But yeah, I'm trying to show you guys how I'm doing this freelance stuff. This freelance alien. That's why I'm not doing only freelance, because I have to do this. And why don't I do it on camera also? So it's fine. Why you stopped using ZBrush? Look at my last video on the other channel, the speed chart channel. He has video explaining why he left ZBrush. Yes. Entertainment jerk. How much more stream are you going to do today? How much more stream? I don't know. Maybe I will have to finish it. Yeah, I have to. I think ZBrush is too complicated than Blender. No, it's not. ZBrush is different and it's a very interesting program. It's many people think it's bad as an interface and everything because it's different from any other program. But when you get used to it, it's amazing and super nice program. But Maxon bought it and they will ruin it. No, I'm joking. They cannot ruin it because it's the best, and it will be the best sculpting program ever, probably in next year. Some people say that Blender will catch up. It will never catch up because Blender has a different principle. Blender is a normal 3D program. It counts every polygon as a polygon, and it's difficult with a lot of polygons. It struggles with like many millions of polygons if you don't have enormous modern video card. ZBrush, on the other hand, can work without any video card. It can work on just a normal low-level laptop. It just needs a little bit of RAM and processor, and it's working without too much issue. But it doesn't use your video card almost at all, I think. ZBrush. That's why it's perfect for guys who are with low-level computers. It's either paying the money for buying ZBrush or buying a nice video card. It's your choice, you know. Did you leave ZBrush because of the price? Not so much. Many factors, but I say all of them in my other video. Of course, the best factor, as you all probably know, is that I am making courses for Blender, and they're selling well. And I'm sure that they sell well, better than my courses for ZBrush, because I know they sell better. And that's why I went entirely to Blender because also I wanted to see if I can do all my work in Blender, and I was able to. So that's why I am very certain when I'm making the courses and when I'm advising people to try Blender and to work with Blender, I'm certain because I have done it, I have tested it, I am continuing to test it, and it's working, it's not a problem. Are practicing sculpt 2 hours a day? Okay, they are okay, they are better than nothing, but you will not get too much advanced. Because my personal opinion is that every day you practice and you go to a certain level. Then when you sleep, you go down a little bit. Then in the morning, you have to spend at least half an hour to get back to the level of a previous day, and then get on top of that. So when you train 2 hours a day, you basically train 1.5 hours a day. But of course, this is a little bit of something like a joke, but not too much of a joke, you know. Everybody can see from this for themselves. He left ZBrush because he teaches 3D in Blender. Yeah, exactly. You can order a light-based insect zapper. All you have to do is hang it, say burn baby to the pesky, and watch the show. Those light-based, they work, yes, and probably I will buy. But it's like constantly, which is not very good. You stream early today. Yeah, today is early. Thanks a lot for the feedback, no problem. Sena is a girl name in Turkey, so yeah, she is a she. Okay. Sena is a female name. Okay. Namaste, brother Nico. This is Sri from Bharat. Bharat is Sri from Bharat. I don't know where is this. Maybe India? No? Pakistan? So Superhuman is in ZBrush. Can it be followed in Blender, or there are some particular ZBrush tool you use that cannot be done in Blender? Many people are asking me that for my anatomy courses. The anatomy course, if you know the tool that you will use to follow the course, either ZBrush, either Blender, either Photoshop, either with pen and paper, because you can. This is an anatomy course. It's not a course about Blender, ZBrush, or whatever program it is. No. You can follow it with just drawing. This is a course that 2D artists can follow because it's an anatomy course. It teaches you muscles, it teaches you forms, how the forms change when you rotate, and that's why I did it in a 3D program. It doesn't matter it's ZBrush. It's ZBrush, yes, but it doesn't matter. I did it in a 3D program to show better how the forms are, and when you rotate the body, how they change and how they work. That's why it's in ZBrush. You can follow it in Blender. You can follow it in Notepad. Of course, in Notepad, it's not a drawing software, so you can follow it in everything that you can draw on. In Nomad Sculpt, doesn't matter. Yeah, I like to kind of clear this once and for all, but obviously there will always be people that ask me, when you will do your anatomy courses in Blender? I don't need to. They are anatomy courses. They are in ZBrush, yes, but they are anatomy courses. Doesn't matter which software they are in. Maybe I will do them once, sometime in Blender. It will be the same, but I will do them in Blender for the people who just want them to be in Blender, you know. Why not? It's fine. Hi Nico, huge fan of yours. Do a live stream on hard surface type robotic character one day, please. I don't like hard surface that much. You were talking about ZBrush and you were totally right about ZBrush superiority. What about Mudbox? Did you use it? Any opinion? Thanks. I've seen very good models made in Mudbox back in the days. Nowadays, I don't see Mudbox being used. Back in the days, it was, some people have used it and in a very good results, but I haven't used it ever, so I cannot say. But it's a tool, you can sculpt in it, so obviously you can make very nice things with it if you're a good sculptor. That's my opinion. Yeah. Reckon the game industry production pipeline will ever switch to Blender 3D eventually? My opinion is, I've talked with people in the game industry, and Gameloft as a company, especially our studio here in Sofia, is kind of transitioning a little by little to Blender because it's free, and max licenses are pretty expensive these days. And since we have a lot of 3D artists, whoever wants to go and start using only Blender is welcome to do so in Gameloft. But this is only our studio here in Sofia. I don't know the global Gameloft. Gameloft is a very big company. What I mean by what I'm trying to say here is, if Gameloft is starting to use Blender, Blender is good enough for the game industry for no more than three years now. So since I think it was 2.8, Blender 2.8 was the beginning of Blender becoming a really useful tool. Before that, it was a little bit, hit and miss. So for 3 years, a lot of companies are starting to use Blender. A lot of indie companies. And imagine this. Many indie companies, most of them are using Blender because Blender is good enough. You can do everything. Max is absolutely useless because Max is thousands of dollars and Blender is free. And Blender, in my opinion, I'm a long year Max user. In the beginning, I started with Max my career, with 3D Max. 3D Max is much slower. I work much slower in 3D Max, much laggier than in Blender. Blender is the workflow with all the shortcuts and stuff. If you spend your time, like 1 month and month and a half, and you practice enough, you learn it, you will get much faster than in Max. So you can do things super fast and efficient. In Blender, you can do many things in Blender. I don't reckon there is something in Max that's better than in Blender. So yeah, that's why many companies that are starting right now, they don't have too much money. They want to pay their artists and their programmers, and they don't want to give too much money for the software. They can use Blender, and they're using Blender. And at some point, imagine that after a couple of years, some of these companies will be big mammoths. They will become the big companies that the big companies are today. Because every company which is big now, it started small. So some small companies right now which are using Blender, they will be big in a couple of years. Let's say 10 years from now. So 10 years from now, I reckon that many of the biggest companies will use Blender. That's my opinion. Of course, you can, hate me for that. You can say, no, you're not right. They will continue to use Maya because it's very expensive and Max because it's super expensive. But the truth is that I would say they will use Blender, most likely. How we semi-intermediate artists can we get freelance orders? Difficult. India now become Bharat brother. Cool. I think the real difference use Blender 3D and ZBrush is more about do you want to work alone or either you dream AAA Studios pipeline. Yeah, the AAA Studios pipeline usually is involving ZBrush, but it's not mandatory. You don't have to use ZBrush. If you can do very nice models and stuff in Blender, Blender is enough to make a character for Fortnite, for example. It's not enough to make a very nice character for realistic type of game with pores and everything. It will be a pain in the ass because the high poly have to be very high amount of polygons. You have to have a huge video card, very good video card like 490 or 480 titanium or whatever. And again, it will not be in the level of ZBrush. So ZBrush is better for this high-level games with very realistic characters, but I don't do that. I do mostly stylized characters. That's why Blender is perfect for me, because it's good enough. Nico, can you show last Artstation portfolio work? My last Artstation? I don't know what you're talking about, because you can check it out in the description of the video. Hi Nico, posted a whip on Discord. Mind checking it out? Thanks. No, I will not. I will check it out later, after the stream probably. What if indie gaming companies use the free version of ZBrush? They can do that, but since they are companies, there can be consequences if it's if somebody saw them from Maxon, and Maxon is a big corporation now, and they probably kind of send checkers on some companies. If it's very small company that just starts and it's absolutely infamous and it works in some garage with 4 people, probably they can use the free version of ZBrush, which is the torrent version. I got Multires 6 around 14 million faces doing realistic face plus hair and cloth with some fuzz with a Ryzen 5 RX 660 graphics card, 32 gigabytes of RAM. It did really well, crashed like 3 times rendering. Yeah. Why did you look down when you said huge video cards? I'm looking down because I'm trying to see, maybe subconsciously, to see if my box, my computer box, will fit this video cards. It will not. It's a big box, but it will not fit 490. I think it will be hard, or 480. All these 4000 series cards are huge. They are very big, and that's why I probably will not buy one. Maybe if I buy another video card, it will be 3090, I mean, from Nvidia. And that will be it for long years after. Hi Nico, love your lives. Help me a lot to get into the zone when I'm sculpting. Thank you, that's good, by the way. I like also to put some stream, some guy talking about some stuff on the side of my monitor and just sculpt. It's cool. What's your opinion on pen tablets versus tablet with screen? My opinion, my personal opinion is obvious because I'm using the pen tablet. But of course, I know a guy, not only one, but guys who are amazing. They're even better than me, character artists. They are using big Wacom tablets with screens. Wacom Intuos, I think it was. No, Wacom, not Wacom Intuos. Maybe Intuos. The big one. The big tablets with screens. They're like 24 inches tablet or something, which is huge. And they're doing fine with them. But for me, I don't know. For example, if I use this huge tablet, then I have to, when I go to a seaside to work there or to go somewhere to work, I have to take this huge tablet with me. Now I just have to take my small 1x Wacom tablet, which is like A4 size, and my laptop. That's it. Not some big thing like monitor. Have you tried Armor Paint? It looks to be promising. Substance Painter, open source free alternative, plus received Epic grant, and it's actually based on Blender source code. So Armor Paint, I think I saw something about it like 1 year ago or something when I was researching alternatives, free alternatives of Substance Painter. There were none back in the days. Now maybe I have to make my research again, because I would switch to something which is free instead of Substance Painter, but for now there is nothing which comes even close. And Blender comes close to ZBrush, in my opinion. Many people say it's day and night difference. No, it comes close to ZBrush of sculpting and everything. You can see I can do this in Blender. If I can do this in Blender, it's fine. But nothing comes close to Substance Painter yet, so we'll see. Nico, I think Marco Plouffe is the GOAT. Marco Plouffe. Okay, good. I think I've heard about him. If I want to be a character artist for Fortnite, I need to have a character like from Fortnite in portfolio. Not only one, couple of them. Yes. And they have to be good. If they are good enough, maybe Fortnite will contact you to freelance for them. I'm not Fortnite, but Epic Games. I think it was Epic Games, yeah. Nico, need your advice on stylized faults. What's the difference between it and realistic? How to achieve it correctly? You can achieve it by making a realistic fault and then making it a little bit more with corners. The idea is that you have to watch. If you want to do nice stylistic faults, you have to find a nice model with stylistic faults. Try Fortnite models, try models like this. They have nice faults, and you can learn from them. Also, if you have to say it simple, if you want to make stylistic faults look nice, you have to make very few faults, but very well placed, which is the most difficult thing. And that's it. How you solve the separated arms and torso when baking for texture? No, this is just a work in progress. I will combine them. I probably will combine the head too with the torso and arms, not with the legs. I don't need to combine it with the legs because of the skirt. It's covering it. But here, since this thing, the color, in the beginning it will not be there. So it will be without the color, and that's why I will need to everything smooth. So I will probably have to combine everything and smooth the edges. Otherwise, to smooth afterwards in normal map or something, no, you better combine them. Quickscale Mixer, I have tried it back in the days. It's not as easy on Substance Painter. There are a lot of alternatives to Substance Painter, but nothing comes close to be as easy and fast and intuitive, if you can say, to Substance Painter. Also, Substance Painter is baking perfectly. Back in the days before I used Substance Painter for baking, I was using Xnormal. Xnormal is a free program in which you can bake. You cannot see the models in Xnormal. You cannot put the model and see it. You just open the model and it's there. You see it as a text. You open the high poly, it's there. Then you bake. But now I'm using only Substance Painter since like maybe 6 years ago. I stopped using Xnormal and start using only Substance Painter for baking. Nico, what's the core differences between stylized and realistic artworks? I cannot say. One is stylized, doesn't have that much detail. The detail is only on the right places, if the stylization is good, by the way. If it's a bad stylization, it will look like a stylized character, but it will not look very good. And many people will say, okay, this is a stylized character, obviously, but why doesn't it look good? Because the stylization is not on the right places. The angles, the sharp corners, they're not on the right places and everything. Will you create a low poly for this? Yes. Is it Marmoset toolback better for baking of substance? Probably it's similar of baking. I think I tried to bake in Marmoset, but you see in Substance Painter, you bake all the necessary maps to make textures for Substance Painter. That's why baking with Substance Painter is much more convenient when you will work with Substance Painter later. If you bake with Marmoset toolback or any other baker, then you have to bake the curvature map and the tangent normal map, everything that Substance Painter bakes by default. You have to check it, you have to see if it bakes them correctly to work with Substance Painter, and then it's very much a pain in the ass to put them inside Substance Painter. If you bake them inside, they are inside already and it's very easy. What tip can you give when learning retopology? The main tip that I can give is to work a lot and to do retopology. Many people are afraid to start it. Do one. You will get some things from one retopology of one character. Then do another one and you will get another things. But then UVs and baking, definitely, because then you will see your mistakes and you can fix them. And then in the next one you will make less mistakes, and then in the next one I have made like not 100 probably, maybe 100 characters, maybe I have, but tens of characters I have made, many characters with retopology. So now when I'm retopologizing, I kind of instinctively know where to put the polygon, how to adjust it in order to make the best from the baking. And I know also not to to be too picky about the polygon placement and everything, because usually I can bake, then go change the low poly, export it, bake again, go change the high poly, export it, bake again. It's not a big issue to make changes afterwards in relation of how the low poly and the high poly, where they meet. It's about feeling it. But of course I show all of these things in the course that I have in my other channel. When you go to the playlists, you find the playlist with 38 videos or something, and this is the playlist where I make a character in Blender from scratch, high poly, low poly, and then a little bit of Substance Painter, I think, yeah. Yeah, probably will do that. I will make a course about head, like the head anatomy, but for the arm and hand. Then maybe torso and legs. Just 3 will be enough. Will you ever host any fun sculpting challenges? I am not saying that I will not. Probably I will. We'll see. Okay. We see Spanish. I am learning Spanish with my son right now. But with Duolingo, it's not enough to know what this guy is saying now. So we have to finish. See you guys in the next stream. Hopefully it will be soon. Sooner rather than later. Maybe tomorrow. If it's tomorrow, it will be at the same time. So check it out.